And I think what's been exciting for me is this journey with the different faith communities. Now, the Christian faith has been represented by an organisation called More Than Gold, which is a Christian response to the Games, and Rudy has been very much part of that. But Rudy came to me and said, you know, we want to do something special here. We want to engage with not just within the church, but we want to get out, and we want to get out into the community. And when I look across the country, and another hat I wear is I work for the Church of England as their national coordinator for the Olympics. And when I go around the country, I meet all sorts of people from local authorities. Not just, so it's not just the London local authorities, and I see what they're doing across the country. They've got projects going on the back of the Olympics. You know, they're saying, well, the Olympics is coming, it may be, you know, the majority of it in London, but actually it's going to affect the whole country. And I can confirm that, having been in Beijing and also having been in Vancouver. You know, in Vancouver, 3 weeks out from the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, they were talking in the press about riots and demonstrations against the Olympics. 3 days out, the parties started. 2 weeks in, the Canadian Prime Minister was talking about the rebirth of his country. Not just the rebirth of Vancouver or rebirth of Whistler, where the activities were taking place, but the rebirth of his country, because it affected the whole country so much. And that's what will happen with the Olympics and Paralympics come to the UK. And you know, this is the exciting thing about this project, is instead of the church just thinking about, oh, what can we do for a bit of mission and outreach, it's actually said, you know, the vision statement for the organising committee is to use the power of the Games to inspire change. And that's just what this project, Passing the Baton, does. It's about changing mindset. Instead of, you know, looking to see, you know, what I can get out of the community, it's actually looking to see what can we put into the community. How can we work together? And how can we work together, you know, with young people? How can we work together, you know, with the safer neighbourhood policing? How can we work together with the local authority? What can we do together that's going to inspire change? Now, you wouldn't have got this award, the Inspire Mark, unless somebody could pick up, you know, the application form and say, actually, there's something in this. This is a project inspired by the Olympic and Paralympic Games, and it's a project that's going to bring about, it's going to deliver something. It's not just a name, it's not just we've got it, we can forget about it. It's actually about delivering some outcomes. And the outcomes are Rudy's just outlined, you know, that, and peace, you know, is a massive thing. You know, in our neighbourhoods. The Roman Catholic Church went out and they asked the children and the young people within their secondary schools, within their comprehensive schools, you know, what did they want from the Olympic Games? And they thought they'd say, you know, a visit by an athlete or free tickets. We'd all like free tickets, wouldn't we? You know, or whatever. But no, they said, we just like some peace in our neighbourhoods. That was from young people. They're fed up of, you know, the knife culture. They're fed up of the gang warfare. They're fed up of actually living, looking over the shoulder to see who's coming to get them next. And you know, this project can actually help to bring about change here and in every other local authority where it's being run. And that's what's exciting about it. And the exciting thing is that as a church, you know, you've got behind that, and you've gone out from your four walls and you've gone out into the community, you've engaged with other people, and at the end of it, it will deliver a fantastic project. And I'm really pleased and proud that you've got this Inspire Mark. And I'd also like to pay tribute to the work that Rudy's done in this, because he's really worked his socks off to make sure that you get it, and it's not an easy thing to get, you know, and you have to keep going backwards and forwards with different answers and questions and the queries that they bring up. But then, you know, he persevered, you know, that's the exciting thing, and I'm really pleased and proud that you've got this, and I'm really looking forward to not just what happens during the next year, but what happens after that, because this is all about legacy. This is all about changing the mindset of people in our communities, and that will live on long after the Olympic and Paralympic Games. So, you know, thank you for inviting me tonight, and I'm really pleased that you were able to, you know, get this mark, and I look forward to working with you for the next 2 or 3 years. Thank you very much.
I'd now like to ask Councillor and John OBE, Leader of the Council, to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I haven't seen Rudy for quite a number of years, not since he was working on Harsden City Challenge, so I'm really pleased to see you again, Rudy, and it's good to know that you're doing all this kind of work. And this is an important occasion, and I know that people who work with the GOCOG know that it's very bureaucratic. When they come to a place like Brent, though, we're used to big sporting venues in our borough, we're used to parking schemes, we're used to road closures. We have Zaretha Brown here, who's our 2012 officer. We're used to organising those sorts of nuts and bolts things, so we don't get anxious about Olympics coming here, like some other boroughs do. And we are very lucky to be an Olympic borough. We're going to have the football here, we're going to have the badminton here, we're going to have the rhythmic gymnastics, and we can't wait. And you're absolutely right, the city has a party when the Olympics are coming. I'm old enough to have been at the Montreal Olympics, and I went to the show jumping there in particular, but the whole city was partying. Everybody joins in, and that's what we're going to be doing next year. But actually, you're right, it's about the legacy, and it's about what we do for people across the age range, but particularly young people. We're a young borough here, we've got lots and lots of young people. And every organisation, faith groups and others, who can attract people, young people in particularly, so that they can engage with them, teach them some skills, and then they are better equipped for life that follows. I've got to hand it to you, I think that's amazing. And I personally, sport and culture are very, very important, and that is the Olympics. But I don't think people realise how important the creative industries are. We've got a young person at the back here who I was speaking to, Nikki. She writes music, and she lives in Cricklewood. Well, why shouldn't she be connected in and able to actually perform, do her sort of writing and get it performed somewhere? The creative industries are very important because all of us want good entertainment. We pay a lot of money for tickets to concerts, to plays, to theatres. We want to see good lighting, good sound, good acting, good comedians, across the whole of the choices that we have in a modern, sophisticated, educated and prosperous society. And so that's a young person's area, is it not? Why are we not doing more? We're doing a lot here in Brent though, and I was speaking to Danny Maher from Cricklewood Homeless Concern today, Nikki, and he was telling me about how many artistic people there are in Cricklewood, how many people who write, who paint, and who make music. And so you're in the right place there, and we've just got to make a few more connections. But down in South Kilburn, here in Wembley, we've got Fountain Studios here, the home of the X Factor. Rachel Evans from Fountain Studios is connected into Brent's cultural strategy. We've got the Tricycle Theatre, it's all about young people and involving them. We're the best place you could do this work, Rudy, that's what I'm telling you. We've got lots of young people.
Cancel all the other ones, cancel all the other ones.
We've got lots of young people, we've got lots of good ideas, and I for one, I know Ronald is busy filming me at the moment, I don't think you should do that, I'm not young enough to go on your films. But actually his radio, we've all been down there and talked to young people there, and some of the stuff that's done there is absolutely amazing. So I can only say well done for getting this particular accreditation, and good luck for your work over the coming months until we have this fabulous, fabulous time in the London Borough of Brent, across London and across the UK. I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
Now let's fast it up because I'm going to the Diwali fireworks at the temple and we will have to leave quite soon, right?
Thank you very much for that. Can I ask Councillor Zafra Franco to come and say a few words? Yeah.